something to you, what you want to say is, God, I'm so glad we're friends. Aren't you glad we're friends? And I go, okay, I can do that. I can do that. The phone rings. I'm in the car. The phone rings. It's like 6 hours to get here. And Tim's like, hey, where are you at? And I would get this call every couple of hours. It was really cute. Where are you at? Where are you at? And when I finally get here, just right outside here, it's midnight. And Tim is standing in the middle of the street like a 9-year-old waiting for Santa Claus to come on Christmas morning. And it was the cutest thing I ever saw. With a cell phone like this. And it was just like a little kid. And I was just so, I don't know, moved or touched. I just thought it was really sweet, a nice reception. He was excited that I was there. So I walk in and I carry my little suitcase in the house, and he gives me a tour of the house.
I'm listening.
And I shows me his daughter's room, bunk beds. Shows me the room, the front, the living room, and the kitchen, and his bedroom, king size bed.
And my son's room.
And the back room, which was empty, pretty much had storage things in it. No bed back there, just storage stuff. And I went. So I looked at him, and he was, showing me the house, and I said, "So where am I sleeping?" And he said,
"With me."
And I said, no, right? I said, no, I don't think so. And he goes, well, and I kind of got the feeling like, okay, just a second. I need a minute to think about this. And I remember because my hand was on the top of my suitcase, my pulling suitcase. And I'm thinking, friend zone.
The Rubicon.
And I'm just here. I'm just not that kind of girl.
Standing at the Rubicon.
So I'm going, okay, twin bed, bunk bed thing. That's not working. The couch looked kind of funky. I didn't think that was going to work either. And I thought, it's a king size bed, California king. It's huge. So I go, all right. Here's the thing. I'll stay in the bed with you, but you have to behave yourself. And there's a line that goes down the middle, right? Don't cross it. So I go into the bathroom and I put on my sweatpants and my sweatshirt with my hood, and everything. I get in bed and I'm like, and then you come in and you whip down your tidy whities and jump in, and I'm like, oh my God, okay. So I was like, he obviously feels comfortable with himself and with me. But the next day, can I move on, or do you want to have any comments?
No, you go ahead. You keep going. You're on a roll. No, I'm grooving on this. It's like
the next day, one of our dear friends, Chuck McCann, took us on a Hollywood tour for me because we have the Max Sennett connection.
Well, you didn't tell that. Her maiden name is Sennett, and
yes.
She's related to Max Sennett.
All the Sennetts are related, and there's a history, and it's really interesting. We don't know exactly what the history is, but that's another tape for another day.
And her father was a film head.
Total film head.
He was a real film head, so...
Yes.
So
we grew up with those things. So
Barb was a film head, so to meet Chuck McCann, who's a real film historian, knew his stuff, and he offered... Go ahead. I mean, when I tell the story, but I'm just going to...
No, it was wonderful.
And go ahead.
He took me on this tour. Now remember,
fabulous.
My father had just died a couple of weeks before, so things were still a little fresh. And so that next day, we went on this tour with Chuck, and we went to where Charlie Chaplin filmed, where he actually became the kid. He went in and he told the whole story of how he got his costumes, and he came out. And
it's
I got
the beginning
to
of Hollywood.
touch the building where this all happened, and seeing things, and showed me where they filmed the piano going up the stairs.
It's a storage facility now, but the top floor is all original.
With Laurel and Hardy going up the stairs and the studios, and we just went all over, and it was so like deep, and I kept thinking, I wish I could just call my dad. And you were sitting in the back seat, I think, and I just kept thinking, wow, you did this for me, you did this for me. And then the next day, you took me to a session. You guys were recording the Chick Corea songbook. And here I am with all my musical heroes in one room, watching them record and work through stuff, and I'm just going, wow. And it was really overwhelming. And I had the most amazing, I stayed for 6 days. But at one point, I think it was the third day, I think I was standing in the same spot where I was holding my suitcase going, am I staying in that bed or not? Same spot, I think. And you said to me,
keep going.
You said, So when are you gonna let me kiss you?
And let's not put too much stuff on. Let's not get.
What? We can
That's
have an
okay.
edit. We can have an edited version.
Well, we can't, but that's okay.
Dan and I can go away for a
This
little
is
bit.
my favorite part of the story.
Okay, that's nice.
This is my favorite part. Remember how good the first date was? All right. Keeping that in mind, I thought, oh, I can't fight this anymore, this friend thing. I mean, I had genuine feelings for him, and I thought, well, I guess we could just go there. So I said, you can kiss me anytime you want. And he laid one on me that it was my knees buckled. Who does that? My knees buckled, and it was absolutely the best first kiss I ever had.
Well,
He did a good one. That was it.
I mean, for me, it was like anytime you went away was a disappointment. You know, it was like you know.
And then I remember the night that I was going to leave, and I'm sitting on your bed, and we're just talking, and I remember how I was just really emotional because I said, I don't want a relationship. I don't want to get hurt, and I don't want a relationship. And you were so kind, and you said, I promise I'll never hurt you. And I believed him. And here we are.
I don't think I've really hurt you, but I've given you a lot of shit.
Well, that's okay, but it's probably somewhat even.
It is somewhat even. Trust me.
Hey.
We.
I've never. What did you just say? That wasn't very nice.
I've never been with anybody that I enjoy doing so much stuff together with, and we do everything together.
Yes.
It's great.
Yes. Now that you know that I play baseball.
Tell that story. That's a great story.
This will be
From your point of view, it's really.
One of our dates while I was here that first week. I have 3 sons, and I love baseball. Of course, he knew that I love baseball because I think we went to a game. Anyway, so he says, I have a baseball game I've got to warm up for, so I'm going to go to the batting cages. I love the batting cages.
I played in the men's senior league for 25 years.
I was like, cool, I get to watch him run around the bases in tight pants. This ought to be fun. So we
Not
go to the
that
batting.
tight. It's okay.
So we went to the batting cages, and I'm, he puts his token in, does his 30 pitches, pretty good. So you're dropping your shoulder, but that's okay. I told him, I think I told you too, you were dropping your shoulder. So do you think that would have been a clue? Then he picked his stuff up and walked back to the car, and I went, what just happened here? What just happened? Am I chopped liver? And I get in the car and I think, how long can I wait before I say something? Because I'm like, I'm a girl, but I hit balls, man.
It never occurred to me, because it was such a mechanical,
I was stunned.
a ritualistic thing that I always do before, because I'm not, I don't play baseball every day. We play baseball once a week at max, or once every other week. And so whenever I would play, it was important for me to get to what I call getting the machine greased. And you stay in the cage until you know that the machine is greased, from the hand-eye, and everything is just working right. You can feel more fluid with hitting the balls. It's just, you start off, you're making contact, you're fouling a bunch off. But then after a while, when you get in the groove, you're hitting some solid pitches.
Anyway.
And you're looking at them. And to me, I just do this all the time. So when I was done, I'd leave. It never occurred to me that she could hit balls, especially like at 70 miles an hour. Well, I never heard the end of that.
No, it's great because
Didn't hear the end of that.
because we love baseball. We go to a lot of games.
Oh,
and stuff.
man.
So I go in the cage.
She hit 70. She can hit
Oh,
70
yeah.
consistently.
Out of 30, I usually make contact with about 24 to 26.
That's right.
And sometimes I go in the cage and think about people being the ball.
That's right. You hit at certain people. I don't do that, but I know
No,
that.
I do. It's
Yeah.
great. It's great. That's my baseball story. We have a lot of fun.
We go to baseball games all that. Now, I threw my arm out. I ruined it. I need surgery to get it, and then rehab to get it back. But if and when I do that, the torn rotator cuff, the whole bullshit. We talked about. I went to 4 fantasy camps at Dodgertown at Vero Beach, and the first one was with all Hall of Famers, and then the other 3 were with ex-Dodgers. And it's a wonderful experience if you love baseball. It's wonderful, and you
Ah.
don't have to be a good player. It helps, but you don't. And there are some people that go down there. Most of the players that go down there are average to really good players, but you get a couple of people that you wonder why they're there. But everybody's got a right to be there if you plunk down your coin. Women are allowed. We had a couple of great women players down there. So Barb said, listen, what if you and you get your arm together and we sign up and we both go down to Vero Beach and we spend a week together playing at the camp.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, now that is a wonderful experience.
I am in. So that's on the boards
Yeah.
for possibility.
Yep. So that's the goal. As soon as I get over all this other stuff, to get my arm back in shape, that would be great.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
So 3 years we've been together. We've been together for 3 years, and last Christmas, Tim surprised me and asked me to marry him.
So we're getting married.
So we're getting married.
The date?
The date.
May 6th, Sunday, 2:30 in the afternoon in West Hills.
New
And
Calabasas.
we got a lot of friends that are showing up, and probably more that we don't know yet.
Oh my gosh.
And if they all come, it's gonna cost us an arm and a fucking leg. And and between that and the honeymoon, I figure we'll be out in the street with a little can going, I'll sing a couple
can.
songs for you. And but it's a once in a moment, once in a lifetime thing. We're gonna have a great time.
It's gonna be
And
great. And our kids
share
are
this-
gonna all be there, and
Yep. Share
have
this
a
with our
good
friends
time.
and our kids and
it's good. It's a good time because it just seems that it's kind of a celebration in the middle of a lot of stuff that's gone on that's really been difficult.
like my friends in Jersey would say to me, "You did the right thing."
Oh yeah. Yeah, you did.
So what would be the final things y'all would like to say?
Yeah,
I love you.
I love you.
That's it.
That's
That's where it goes.
Final things. I mean, I can't wait for the wedding, but our life together is what we have every day.
Yeah, it's
the best.
it's in the moment.
I've
You
never
live in the
been
moment,
happier.
and if you're happy in the moment, you're happy. I never feel like oh God, I got to get away from her for a while. Or something. I never feel that way. It's like everything we do. Hey, we're going to What are we going to do? We're going to the movies. What are we going to do today? What are we going to do? When are
fun.
we going to go to another ball game? Oh, Tony and Andy invited us to the Braves game next. Oh God, that's going to be great. And it's always in the context of what we're going to do. It's always like that. And it wasn't
Together.
like that for me for a long time. And that to me is wonderful. A buddy of mine yesterday said to me, and he's in a very, very good marriage, and he's mad about his wife, and he's a musician. He's a blues musician. He said to me, it was so touching. I don't think he ever went to that place before as long as I've known him. And he said, I know people that are so rich and they go to bed at night alone. He said to me, in this life, he says, what I've learned is the only thing that's really important is to have the love of someone else and to love that someone else. He says, and that love, he says, that's the only thing that matters. He says, nothing else really is important in life. And he said, you're lucky because he said, you found it. I found it. And he said, I don't think most people find it. He said, that's just my opinion. But he said, that to me is the most important thing. And I can tell you for myself that it took me a long time to learn that in relationships. It took me a long time. But I'm glad that I'm where I'm at now.
Yeah, me too. And I'll say I really never thought, I never believed in those things when people say fairy tales and all these things about your soulmate and all that. But I knew at some point, I'm not sure exactly where, but somewhere along the way, actually it was not soon after. It was soon after we were together. I knew this was something different. This was like the real deal, and I feel like the challenges we've been through the last almost 3 years has made me a better person and brought me to a place of where I never knew I could love someone so much and be loved by someone so much. and it's a wonderful place. And
It's a good
and
place.
we're best friends. What
That's
else
right.
can I say? So I love you, baby.
I love you too, honey.
Mwah. Every day's a gift.
Excellent. I bumped the camera early on. I wanted to ask you to say one line again with this reset shot, Tim, and that was simply where you said, casual dating and really wasn't into that. He said if it was going to happen, it's going to happen. It's
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
happen.
okay.
Kind of that little line.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you
yeah.
Patch it together.
Come on, you have a leaf.
I got to a point where I realized that I wasn't going to go out and find a woman to fix me. And I think a lot of people do that, and I did that for a long time. It's like drinking, you know. It's like a lot of people drink to fix something inside of themselves, or take drugs. A lot of people use women. They use food. You know, to fix you. And I realized that if I wanted to be spiritually healthy, that I had to just let go of all of that stuff. And I even forgot about casual dating. It was just forget it. That if I was going to meet somebody, if it was meant to happen, it'll happen. And if it didn't happen, if it doesn't happen, then that's the way it has to be. But I have to take care of myself. And so I was just kind of sort of like going on that path and living my life. And when I met Barb, it changed. And I wasn't looking for her. And maybe that's the most important thing. So the first time I set eyes on her, she hit me.
Bam.
Bam.
Fantastic.
Oh, that was cute, honey. Oh, you guys, that was so long. Sorry. That was the long version.
No, that's good.
We gave you the short engagement story, so maybe during the wedding hoo-ha, can talk a little bit about that, because it was really sweet.
I just thank you for doing this.
This
I
was
think
really wonderful.
It'll add a lot to the video, and I'll give you a full copy too. So,
Oh.
but it'll add a
The
lot.
edit will be
Yes.
fun.
It'll add a lot.